Welcome back to another episode of How to Launch in the LINCConnect series. This episode will teach us how to use containers in the RPMA platform LINCConnect. Containers are the environments in which parts of the code run, essentially where your application code is executed and where you can see the output. To do that, you have to go to the cluster manager under containers, and you can add your container by providing all the relevant details. It could be for a Docker or a Kubernetes container. To have a Docker container, you need a Docker account. Depending on your needs, you can have either a private or public Docker account. If you have a private Docker account, register it with us in the Docker registry. To do that, go to the Developer Workbench and click on Registry. Once the page appears, you can add your Docker credentials here. You can give a name, for example, Test Docker, and then provide your username and password for the account. After that, click Save. Once you click Save, the registry for your account will be shown here, which can be used to pull images from your Docker app. After completing this, return to Cluster Manager Containers and try to add a container. While adding the container, fill in the required details, such as a service name, such as SGFE. Then, you can use the ingress functionality of the container and specify the URL where you want your application to be deployed. Next, select the language. For instance, I've chosen React since it is a front-end application. Now, specify the port where you want the application to run and indicate the replica count. You can increase the replica count by 1 if you scale it up. The predefined value is 1. You can also select disk allocation options if you want the data to persist. In other details, the container size will be specified. If your code is a snippet of a more extensive code base and not a heavy deployment, you can use KRegular, which utilizes 1 CPU and 248 megabytes of memory. Next, you can provide environment variables for your deployment. For instance, I'm adding an environment variable, user, and assigning an admin value to it. You can add more environment variables, such as a password, by assigning the appropriate values if you want to use them in your code. Since we use a private Docker account, select the account from here. For instance, the account might be an RPMA registry. From the Docker Hub, specify the namespace and write the repository for it. Here's the repo name, and you can add the tag details with which you want to deploy the container. Click Save. After clicking Save, your container's entry will appear on this page. Now, the container is deployed and currently in the running state. Clicking on the endpoint will take you to the application running in this container, and that's how you use the LINCConnect container functionality to deploy your code within the RPMA platform. That's all for this video. See you in the next episode, where we will explore how to create pages and serve them as business APIs.